Welcome to the So Social Radio Show. I'm your host, Richard Martin, along with my amazing co-host,
Cheri Martin, and we are the WCN Interactive Team, business growth, marketing, and social media strategists, helping you to
dream it, plan it, build it, and my favorite, successfully do it.
For growth, prosperity, and success. And each Wednesday at 12 noon on TalkNetworkRadio.com, we share tips and techniques to grow you and your business, plus demystify social media and marketing for you so you can have more fun
and more profits.
And today, our conversation is going to be revolving around how to have those more profits with our amazing guest, which we're going to be introducing here shortly. But we want to make sure everyone connects with us on Facebook at So Social Radio Show. There is an actual top pinned post on the So Social Radio Show Facebook page, and it has some information about our guest. Also, if you have any questions at all today during the show, or even after the show, if you're listening to the podcast, to make sure you go and place those questions in the comments, and here live, we'll answer them, and if it's during the podcast, we'll make sure you get the answers, or we'll connect you with our guests so that you can get the answers as well. But we do want to, first, before we get started and introduce everyone to our expert guest today, I want to make sure that we mention our partners and give our sponsors and partners a big thank you, and as I said, a big shout out.
Absolutely. This is my favorite. Toastmasters, a world leader in communications and leadership development. Find out how you can improve your speaking and leadership skills. Visit toastmastersd84.org.
Also, Constant Contact, an award-winning company empowering small businesses and nonprofits to grow and succeed through email marketing. You can be a marketer with one toolkit, one login. And actually, if you would like to have a very special offer and try email marketing, and you just need to try it with Constant Contact, there is no contract. There is a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's nothing to lose. It's a win-win. You can actually right now get 30% off for your first 3 months with Constant Contact, which is a tremendous savings. And it's very affordable anyway to be able to start building a marketing list as you're growing your business. But just send me an email at clm@wcninteractive.com, and I will get you, we'll do a phone conversation. I'll lead you to where you can learn more. Again, clm@wcninteractive.com.
And everythingbrevard.com, a Brevard County, Florida community website, keeping you up to date on everything that's happening in Brevard, and get your business listed on everythingbrevard.com.
And also our newest partner, the Business Acceleration Summit with Shannon Gronich, which we had a phenomenal experience at her 9th summit last week. I know Rich is going to share a little experience about that in just a moment, but we want to make sure that if you did not have an opportunity, or if you did attend and you have not yet purchased your tickets for the next one coming, it is in September, and through this Friday, which is May 26th, you can actually get 50% off your 3-day VIP tickets. So you make sure go to businessaccelerationsummit.com and get signed up and register. We'll be there. I don't think I'll ever miss another one.
No, they are absolutely fantastic. Those of you that know me know I love aviation. I love airplanes, and I'm trying to get some stuff built. And there was a gentleman that was there that we are in negotiations for him doing some funding to get Jeff and I started on this whole thing. So
I know
it's amazing what happened, and it's all due to the Business Acceleration Summit. Shannon, but even more than that, it's the people that are there, that everybody there's to help and serve others.
It's all about collaboration, and that's what makes this summit so different from so many other ones that we attend. And as everyone knows, we attend a lot of them. In fact, our guest is at one today. She's the same way. But we're always learning from each other and going to other people's conferences, summits, etc., so that we can continue growing. So with that, let's go ahead and let me do an official introduction of our expert guest and friend today so that we can bring her on and get this conversation going. We're really thrilled to welcome and introduce to you Marty Ward. She is the CEO of Discover Your Power Within Coaching and Consulting. She's also a noted author of Get Clear, Get Confident, Get Going. And this is a book that we have on our desk. Always a lot of little tabs in it and bookmarked. But for over 10 years, Marty has been a dynamic speaker and international transformational strategist. She is your secret weapon to having an inspired into action mindset. Marty has helped hundreds of entrepreneurs, business owners, sales professionals, and care providers to transform stuck and struggling lives and businesses. If you're ready to finally learn how to make the money you want in less time with less effort and feel more energized and enthusiastic at the end of the day, then today is your lucky day. And we thank you for tuning in, because this topic today in our conversation with Marty is all about how to make the money you want and you desire. So we want to welcome you, Marty, to the So Social Radio Show. And again, I'm so excited and cannot wait to hear all the secrets you're going to be sharing today with us and our audience.
Oh, well, I am so pleased to be with you. You know, you and I have known, I've known you and Richard for many, many years, and you've been so helpful to me and my business and helping me to learn more about social media and what to do. And you're such a guiding light in the community, so appreciate being on the show.
Wow, well, thank you for that. That was
Absolutely.
awesome. We'll bring on more guests like you. but we have actually, partnered and collaborated. You've helped us too, and we're going to share a lot of the experiences we've had working with you over the last few years, as well as we get talking into this discussion and everything. But there are so many coaches out there, right? And you're a coach. Mm-hmm. I mean, probably millions out there. So what makes what makes you different? What's your differentiation, and how are you attracting those businesses to you?
Well, the difference that I would say, Cheri, is that I help people to really discover their power from within. I have a unique system that I have designed that really taps into who we are in a way that helps you to be able to break through where you're stuck and struggling, anywhere from 5 minutes to 45 minutes. And so you're not going to hear the same old thing from me. What I say is, for millions of years or hundreds of thousands of years, we thought that the world was flat, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't. But nobody meant to hurt anyone. Nobody meant to mislead anyone. But in fact, we were misled and we were limited by the way we saw life. But one day, somebody just went over that thing, and let's see what is on the other side. Let's look. Oh, my goodness, I can keep going. And so we went into obviously knowing that the world was round. So I call it round world thinking. And I help people to bust through all the myths that we've been taught, that nobody meant to mislead us again, but they have. And by knowing the way it actually works, well, that's when I help people to be able to break through so that they can make 20 to 500% more in even just 3 months. Amy was in real estate, and she went from 0 sales to 5 sales, in 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So it really is possible when you really can know what is stopping you, what is holding you back. And usually there's 2 to 3 things that an entrepreneur is holding them back. And then once they know that and can break through, well, the sky is the limit to what they want to do.
When you're working with someone and you're going through this process, and I know we're going to get kind of into more conversation on exactly what that process involves, but is it, and I know I've been through this, but I mean, just so that our audience can understand it, is it easy for someone to really face this?
Is it easy to face it?
Mm-hmm.
Where you're stuck?
Yeah.
I say I take the sting out of it. No matter what anyone has ever said to me, people have said to me, Marty, you make everything, you take the sting out of it. We feel so bad. My story is that, I went from being a successful yacht broker in Annapolis, Maryland, and I bought and sold real estate, and so I had some money there, and I had some other money, and I had life by the tail. And I ended up making a momentous decision of going to Miami. And I was going to sell those great big boats and be a multimillionaire. And I was, in fact, an abject failure. And I ended up chasing the shiny thing like we often do. You know, we're looking for an answer outside of ourselves. And I tried this thing and that thing and this business. And people used to see me coming and go, oh, my gosh, what's she got going on now? I don't want to see her. You know, I had so much going on. And what it cost me was just, you know, my entire fortune. And I ended up with $7.41 in my bank account about 6 weeks before Christmas. You know, my kids were older, but, you know, Christmas was pretty tough that year. But what happened is I broke through. And I broke through because I did what I denied myself. And I want everybody to really listen to this. I did what I denied myself for 12 years, which was to write. And I went downstairs and I started to write the first chapter of the book that I eventually published. And 12 hours later, I looked up and it was midnight. And I went, oh my God, I wrote for 12 hours. And what I discovered is that I'd unlocked my creative potential. And that's what we do, Cheri and Richard. We shut ourselves down. We cut off the very thing that would bring us joy, bring us pleasure, bring us excitement in our life. That what I now talk about is passion, impact, and profit. And when we shut down our passion, which is that talents, gifts, and abilities that we'll talk a little bit about, you know, and we shut that down, then you shut down the source of your money. You know, you might be doing okay, but you're not doing great. And you might be doing okay, but you might be feeling still really bad inside. And by this special technique that I have of unlocking people, that's when people can really grab a hold of success and excitement and passion and joy and thrill and woohoo about life.
And we all love the
woohoo.
Once
you got the woohoo, then you got money coming in. And you got joy and you have fun with your partner and everything's better. You know? And so that's what I do. And so it really what I teach is very simple and yet very profound. And it makes such a difference, you know, in people's, I mean, I was just with someone, a 4-hour VIP that I do, and he was just totally blown away because he figured out the exact thing that's held him back for his entire life, that's cost him hundreds of thousands of dollars, not knowing what the answer was.
I know sometimes you just need that kick in the seat of your pants, you know.
Right.
Because
Awesome
I think it's a key to unlock. I don't kick in the pants, but I know kind of what you mean, right? It's really, it was the key to unlock him. It's really the key to the lock of who you are. It's the key to knowing yourself well enough to be able to go, oh, that's why I don't pick up the phone. That's why I let people take all my money away. That's why I didn't stand up for myself and have that business deal go my way. You know, that's why I was earning $10 an hour, and I got that business owner to a $50,000 a month profit, and then he wouldn't pay me for my services, and I just walked away. You know, and then knowing why you do that, why you end up in the same relationship over and over and over again. You know, why do we repeat that pattern? And once you know it, then you can own it. Then you can master it. But if you don't know what's dragging, listen, I went from $1 million, being worth $1 million, to $7.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what? You know, I mean, all the way down, I'm going, really, Marty? You're really going to do this to yourself? Really, Marty? You can't stop? I couldn't stop until I stopped. Right? And if you can't stop until you stop, it's because you're being dragged around by your subconscious that's got you doing something, and you don't know why you do it.
And I think this is common with a lot of entrepreneurs. I hate to say, I mean, those that have their dream and then they get so overwhelmed that they don't know how to stop it. They don't know where. They need that outside person like you to come in and really help them work through that process, because it is difficult. I know myself. I mean, before I worked with you on the process that you're going to share today, I tried to do it all myself. I don't need help. I know what the problem is. I can work through this. But then the more we try to do it ourselves, I think the more stuck I know myself from my own experience I got.
Same with me. went through Marty's program, and Marty and I beat heads there for a while, in a friendly way, and I mean that as a compliment to Marty. But eventually, Marty figured out what the key was in my head, and we were able to proceed. And that sometimes they're easy, sometimes you run into somebody like me. But I can't say enough about Marty. Is she amazing?
Oh, thank you. Well, and Richard, now I hear your dream is on its way to coming true.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Right? The dream that you wanted. And so good for you. Bravo for pursuing it and staying with it, And bravo, good for you.
Yeah.
Well, let's get started in sharing with our audience about your Tag Yourself for Success and what that process is. Because, again, when you worked with us, one of the neatest and the most awesomest thing that I can remember when I sat with you and going through that tag and determining, what my talents, abilities, and gifts were, I know that it was hard for me to really share those. And I know I had a lot of tears because I was digging so deep and it was scaring me. But yet the success, the stuff that you brought out eventually led to some great success for me, which excites me as well. So, and I'll share more of that. I want you to start sharing, though, our audience exactly what is the TAG system.
Well, the TAG system is what I was describing in my own breakthrough there, where I started writing. And I want everyone listening to think about this thing that you're denying yourself the pleasure of doing. And that can be as simple as one client who was in real estate and investor, and she started belly dancing twice a week. Now, not only were her husband and her having more enjoyment throughout the week, but also her business took off. She was enjoying and doing what she loved. Someone else had been walking by their piano every day for 10 years and never sat down and played. But they had a piano for a reason, because they loved to play. And once she started to play 10 minutes a day and then 20 minutes a day, she got more clients. So it's looking at where you are shutting down. And those are the things that I'm talking about, like playing the piano or belly dancing or writing, are your talents. Your talents, your abilities, and your gifts are really your soul's signature. It makes you, you, and me. It's what makes you special. So, Cheri can say, well, there's a million coaches. What makes you special? There's a million social media people. What makes you guys special? It's each of us owning what makes us unique and special that you can use not only to know and value yourself more, but also to use in your marketing. So your talents are what you love to do. So if you looked at your resume, you could say, that I'm a leader, I'm a CEO, I'm a social media person, I'm a planner, I'm an organizer, I'm a radio show host. Those are things that you do. And you need abilities in order to be able to do them. So we all have, every one of us out there has creative, inventive, imaginative, and most people, we have all of those, and intuitive. Those are the four big ones. So creative, inventive, imaginative, and intuitive. And we all have that, and we use that differently. And then some people are musical, so they would be rhythmical. Someone who's musical also is mathematical, spatial relationships. Someone who's an artist, your abilities would be sense of color, sense of design, sense of style. Can you hear how deep you can go? Right? As a leader, it would be creative, inventive, imaginative, analytical. A lot of people are analytical, intuitive, and then good listener, compassionate. And then, of course, we have the athlete. So the athlete would be flexible, adaptable, coordinated. So you take your abilities and then you express them through your talent of being a radio show host, a social media person. So you've got the logical, the linear, the organization, those are your abilities. And then the gift that you give is people getting known for the exact message that they want to create. People making more money, people enjoying connecting with their audience in an effective way, getting their message out to all the people that want to hear them. An IT person might be their gift might be teaching in a way that people can learn more easily. And I love to bring up cook, because many people, not me, but many people are cooks. My children would go, "Oh my God, not mother."
I'm married to one. I let him do it.
You're lucky. Oh my Lord. But cook, you can say, "Well, what's the big deal? I just cooked dinner." No. To cook, you have to be creative, inventive, imaginative. You have sense of style, sense of taste, sense of color, sense of design, sense of timing, which, when do I put it in? When do I take it out of the oven? When do I, designing the table, designing how the plate looks. And if you listen, all of these are executive skills. In business, you need to negotiate. Well, do I need to spice up the deal or cool the deal off? Do I need to put it in the oven, so to speak, and let it cook for a few days before I call them? It's having a sense of anticipating what's going to happen next. And so then the cook provides a beautiful time of the family to get together, place of community, a place of yummy food, of enjoyment, of pleasure, of laughter. So you're not just a cook. You're someone who provides the family with a delightful experience where everyone can connect and enjoy each other's company and with laughter and fun. And so it's really learning for each of us to value and honor who you are. And that's how you create that rock-solid confidence so that no one can ever steal it from you. As many of you know, that I work with children, and this is exactly what I teach children. And this is what I teach parents and teachers, to talk to children in these talents, abilities, and gifts terms. Because we want our children to believe in themselves so that no bully, no one can call them a name and have them believe it. We want them to believe in themselves. And we all have an internal bully, right? We have the internal bully. If we don't have an external one, we got an internal one, right?
Yeah. I was just going to go to that. So, thank you. How do we start taking control of this internal bully that we all have, the doubts and the fears and all that within ourselves?
Well, thanks I'm glad you asked, because the way to do that is when the internal bully is calling you names, so it might be your mother, your father, your sister, your boss, your somebody in your head with the mind chatter, and you go to do something and you hear, "You'll never make it. Oh, you thought, why are you doing that? That's a crazy," whatever it is, right?
Go get a real job.
Yeah, go get a real job. Yeah, when are you going to get off that radio and go get a real job, please, right?
Yep.
So, I know. I've been bullied my whole life, so I totally get it. So it's about not believing it, and it's about, in that moment, doing something creative. You have to physically move. So you hear the voice in your head, and you say, breathe, and you go, "Okay, what can I do creative in this moment?" In other words, how can I express me in this moment? And so it might be, when I used to have my beloved sister in my head, I would be brushing my teeth. I'd put down the toothbrush, I'd go downstairs, and I'd write a little bit in my book, even if it's only 5 or 10 minutes. Then I build myself up with me rather than that voice. So it's really doing something in that moment. It could be, what can I do creative in this moment? I think I'll cook a nice breakfast for myself.
So it's much more of an interruption strategy. Do whatever you have to do to interrupt that thought to get you into a different place and time.
Yes, and the other key, Richard, is to do it about you expressing more of your fabulousness.
I like that.
And that's why.
Okay, so.
And that's why it's so important to understand those talents, abilities, and gifts, and really believe them. Because I know when I first started working with you at that time, I was like, I'm just throwing them out, but I really didn't believe them. But the more I visualized it and the more I thought about it, it actually, in the compilation book that I'm in, when I wrote my journey to the stage, all of that helped me to really focus on that journey that I had from when I was a young child all the way up to where I'm now speaking on a stage. That I would not have been able to do that if I didn't understand those talents and abilities and gifts that I have, because I started realizing the value instead of, the value that I can provide.
Fabulous.
And believed in myself.
Imagine that.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you see, the whole way down my, as I call it, my Walt Disney World ride to the bottom, everyone is saying to me, Marty, just love yourself. Oh, Marty, you can pick up the phone. And I wanted to go, no, Sherlock. Of course I know I'm supposed to pick up the phone. Yes, I'm supposed to love myself. But how do I do that? Whoever taught us how to love ourselves?
Well, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I just finished the one thought, which is that how you love yourself is by honoring and valuing your talents, your abilities, and your gifts. And that's the only way you will ever really get how valuable you are, is to really own that. And that's why you're valuable. That's why you're worthy. That's why you get to charge what you do. That's why you're special.
When you say own it, what is the mental process that goes along with, say, Richard owning what he is? Whether, not whether I like it or don't like it. Okay, this is me. How do I own it? How do I take mental charge of it?
Well, we have to be receptive. We have to be able to receive in order to make money. If you can't receive, you can't make money. And so it's you receiving, you really allowing yourself to I want to say breathe it in, because when we breathe and we take that deep breath, it puts us into our thinking brain, into your frontal lobe. If you tap your forehead, that's your frontal lobe, that's your thinking brain, and allows you to, when you do that, to and settle into allowing that information to come in, not just from your brain, but also into your heart, and to allow you to say, you know what, I am cool. You know what, I really did help that person. For a while, what I did is I made a gallery of my clients, and I had a picture of them, and I had underneath it, based on the evidence that, and then I would list the thing that had happened for them in their life due to our work together. Mm-hmm. And I had that at the top of my stairs, so that every time I went upstairs to go to bed, I had a gallery to awaken me to say, Marty, you really did do this. You really did help these people. They really have had their lives changed and their dreams come true. And, through your work, that happened. And they're happy to say it, like you guys. Thank you very generously today. You did. Like for you, you've helped people to make more money, to reach their audience, to have the success that they've been looking for. You've helped people to make to have not only the money, but the impact. So you guys, it's really allowing yourself to say, yeah, you know what? I did do that. And allow that in.
And I love what you just said, what you do, because I visualize that. I know we all do these vision boards at the beginning of the year where we want to take ourselves and our dreams and our desires and our intentions, etc. But when you have that board, seeing the successes that you have, that just instills that confidence. And it also, I visualized right away the great feeling you have, because we all know as entrepreneurs, we're wanting to do, are wanting to serve. And when we know that we've served others and have provided them opportunities where they've actually had success, that just kind of makes you realize, I need to find more I can serve. I need to continue searching and helping. I felt that, and
right.
And it's also when, we can't, I know I can't please everyone. I know that I've trained some individuals that never took action. I had to finally start owning the fact that I can't take their action. I can only take the action that I am providing by showing them the way, showing them the tools and the tips, etc. And so you're always, that would be a reassurance to me that, yes, I have helped some.
Yes. And there are more people out there for, that want this help, that need the help, need that guidance. And I can't wait for our session together because I've got some things on Facebook that I still don't understand.
I know.
So, I need you, so many people need you because this is the parlance of the day. This is the way we need to communicate. So we have to get with it here.
That it is, and it's ever evolving. I tease everybody, that's why I don't sleep at night. I have to continually, learn the new tips and tricks and techniques so I can share them with my students. Exactly. Well, before we continue, I do want you to let everyone know where they can actually purchase your book, the Get Clear, Get Confident, Get Going, because I highly recommend this book to all of our listeners. It is a phenomenal tool to have because, as you say in your book, it will help you to get from where you are to where you want to be. And I know you go into real deep depth of the TAG system. So can you share with our listeners where they can purchase this?
Yes. Actually, Amazon.com is the best place. It's just the easiest one to get it. And for those of you who are local, please bring it with you, and I'm happy to autograph it. But it will give you a different perspective on life. Again,
Definitely.
You're going to break through things that you used to see a particular way that have gotten you, in fact, stuck and struggling. You will break through them and be able to see them differently. And that's what my work is all about. It's seeing things from a fresh perspective so that you can actually have things come together and work for you. Mm-hmm. And that's what excites me, is that, if you have an answer, right? Like if you can teach us how to do 4 things on Facebook and then it makes us money and we reach our audience, well, why would you keep that a secret? And that's how I feel. I have some techniques that work. I mean, why suffer? I suffered enough for everybody. And just I learned it. I figured it out. Let me give you the formula so you can just soar and have more time with your family and do it simpler and easier and really without impacting your personal lives and just to have more freedom and why you got in business in the first place.
Well, yeah, and it's fun sharing secrets because, we all, that when I was younger, everybody had secrets, I wanted to hear. But when you're sharing your own secrets, and they're not really secrets, it's just that we've been able to, just as you've tapped into how to help yourself. So now you can't wait to share that with others because that's what you said. You had the journey. You did this journey with you first. Right.
Yeah, I got my PhD in procrastination. I got that one. I figured that one out. I got my, I think I got 2 PhDs. And by really being able to break through it. And I don't talk about little boxes and break it into time slots and all of that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. But that isn't what I found for me was the key. Those are helpful, perfectly good techniques for many people, but if you're still, that isn't working for you, then, get in touch with me because I've got a different formula that actually will work consistently for you to break through every time it happens without forcing yourself. I'm all about doing it from the inside out. That's why I say discover your power within, because it's not from the outside in, it's from the inside out. And because when we do it from the outside in, our body ends up breaking down, and we end up with heart disease and diabetes and all those other things because we're forcing and forcing and forcing ourselves to work harder and harder. And it's not about that. Mm-hmm. It's working smarter, and it's working from the inside out of the joy of developing who you are, growing, evolving, becoming more of who you are. You've got it all. It's just learning how to tap into it. Mm-hmm. I guess one thing I say is it's not that we're not enough. It's that we don't use the enough of who we are to live a satisfied life.
Oh, I like that. Say that again.
It's not that we're not enough. It's that we don't use the enough of who we are to live a satisfied life.
Well, that's powerful, Marty. That is just powerful. And that is so, so true. I know, like you said, when we first started, we've known each other for a number of years, and we both evolved a lot. I mean, as well as Richard has from when we first knew each other in business, and we're in a different arena now. I mean, as far as our journey. But I know when I first started working with you on the TAG system, I Mine was wanting to learn how to balance work and life, because all I did was work, and I do work hard. I mean, I enjoy what I do, so I don't think of it as hard work, but I do know that I never gave myself permission to play and go out and have fun. And I had quit thinking of, I didn't even know how to have fun anymore. I thought just going to different meetings was fun, and again, I do enjoy it, but I wasn't out, for example, playing my clarinet. I majored in music. I taught clarinet, and I mentioned this in my journey to the stage. I mean, that was my stage, and then I quit after I stepped out of college and became a mom and blah blah blah. And I quit playing the clarinet. And when I picked that clarinet up for the first time and started playing it, it was like, wow! It just really it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal to know that is where I needed to continue doing the talents that I have and enjoy them, and know it's not just, I'm not, I don't know, getting distracted. I'm actually becoming better, becoming who I am.
Yay. Oh, that's brilliant. And that's exactly what it is for each of us. We shut down what brings us pleasure, because we've learned that taking care of other people, as children, we learned that the pleasure of other people was more important than who we were.
Right.
And so we started to give in, and we started to shut down. And so that's where, when we shut down our joy and our pleasure, that's our passion, that we've actually shut down, and that can affect all aspects of our relationship as well. And it's really unlocking your passion for the clarinet. For gardening, it can be as simple or complex. It can be flying airplanes. It can be, whatever it is that you're denying yourself the pleasure of, that is going to be the key to unlock your success. And, for some it's easier to figure out than others. And, I'm happy to be there if you want to work with us, so we can get to it quickly and move you through fast. And so you can start to have that money coming in. And then receiving and being receptive to listening, to valuing who you are, and delighting in having joy in that expression of who you are.
Well, let our audience know how they can get in touch with you, where, they can connect with you on social media, as well as your email, or whatever you want them to do. Call, email, connect, let them know, so that they can have a conversation.
Right. Well, what I'd love to offer is, for those of you who'd like to have an amazing profit breakthrough discovery session, go to conversationwithmarty.com, conversationwithmarty.com, and sign up for a time, and you get a free complimentary 45-minute breakthrough session, where we can look at where you are, what's holding you back. You'll get at least one thing that you'll know more about by the end, and we can see, what is your fastest path to cash and how to get there. So that's one way to reach me. And then also my website is discoveryourpowerwithincoach.com, discoveryourpowerwithincoach.com, and /contact is another way to reach me, of course. And then just Marty at discoveryourpowerwithincoach.com is my email.
Okay, and I will make sure all of this is up on the So Social Radio Show Facebook page, and as well as on the SoSocialRadioShow.com guest page, where I have more information about Marty. I'll make sure I put this link, conversationwithmarty.com. The other links are up there on the webpage. So we'll make sure you have all of this information out there, as well as I'll put the link to Amazon and where you can get this book and all that. But, when you're talking about passion, I love that word anyway, because it's just, I wake up thinking, what am I passionate, about my passion. But what's the significance of having passion in regards to making an impact and making a profit? I know we've kind of talked around that, but is there something?
Well, your passion is your creative expression. It's your creative competence. It's your talents, abilities, and gifts. It's your tags, as I call them. It's really, your passion is really you expressing yourself. It's also all of you, your sensuality, your aliveness, your passion, your vibrancy of who you are. So it's your creativity and your aliveness, your vitality, your sensuality that you allow to express yourself. And the more alive you are, the more vibrant you are, the more clients you're going to attract. And you know the difference from when someone is standing on stage and they're just da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and there's no real, vibrancy in them. I mean, if you think of Robin Williams or you think of somebody like that who is so vital and alive, that's the kind of person you want to, by you expressing your creativity. And that doesn't mean you're an artist or a musician. So use creativity in its broadest sense. But your sensuality, your aliveness, your creative energy force is really what makes you have the money come in. It's really connected to money. Money is energy, and it's you expressing that is going to connect you to allowing that money to be created, and then you can only get as much money as you're willing to receive. So you have to be receptive. And as Richard was pointing out, how do I get so that I really believe this? It's really being receptive and allowing yourself to receive the information that, you know what, I really am okay. I really am fabulous. I'm really okay. It doesn't matter about being fabulous. You just need to be okay. And once you're okay, then you can start to get, build from there. But once you just get solid, you know what, I'm all right, after all, despite what my family said, despite what my boss said, despite what my partner said, I am okay.
Yes, you are. You are loved by so many people, Marty.
Well, I just mean, I mean, one of my greatest days was when I was a school-based social worker back in, at the beginning of my career, and I didn't teach this because I wasn't there yet, but I taught this without knowing what I was teaching, kind of thing. And this kid, I remember, she called me, and I was 3 hours away from where I had taught her, and how she ever found my number, which back then was, private and home and all those things. And she called up and she said, Miss Ward, I just wanted to tell you one thing. I said, what? She said, you were right. I am okay.
Wow.
And that to me was so powerful.
It gave me
and
goosies.
her finding it was like, right. It was like, wow. And so, and that's how important it was for her to tell me, because she found me. I mean, it was very difficult back then. Mm-hmm. And anyway, so I want everyone to know that. I want you to know that at your core, you're okay. I mean, we're all messed up. We've all got stuff. Mm-hmm. But at your core, you're okay. And you need to see that and to really start looking at your talents, your abilities, and your gifts. What is your value? And why you matter. And to really see that you do matter. Not based on woo-woo and I'm just being nice, because as I tell people, Marty's not nice. She's very honest, but she's not nice. I'm not going to tell you what isn't true. But if you really look at the truth of who you are, the real truth of who you are, which is the scariest thing for us to own and value ourselves and say, this is who I am, then you can grow from there and just come from a place that I am okay, exactly as I am. And I've got things to learn and places to go. As I say, there's nothing to fix, just more of you to discover.
Oh, I like
love
that.
Yes.
There's nothing to fix, just more of you to discover. Wow, that gave me goosies as well. I love that as well. You're you're spot on today, Marty. I mean, you always are. I mean, like last week when you're on the stage and spoke about your passion about the cause with helping the youth. Getting past bullying. I mean, you were just so on. I mean, you really were.
Thank you so much.
You are.
Thank you. Well, it's so important to me. It's my passion and my mission that adults and children really know their value and how talented, able, and gifted they are, so that we don't believe what's not true, and to believe in ourselves. Because once you believe in yourself, you can do anything. It's as soon as we doubt ourselves, that's when stuck and struggling isn't far behind. Mm. And so for the kids, it's crucial that they get it, that they are valuable, so that when somebody calls them a name and puts them down and tells them to get out of the school, that they're not valuable, that they can say, that's your opinion. That's not who I am. Mm-hmm. I know I'm an artist. I mean, they don't have to say, I know I'm an artist, but they inside can say, I'm an artist, I'm a musician, I'm a writer, I'm an athlete. They can start to, when we teach them this, they can start to really believe it and take it on as true. So despite social media and all the horrible things that are said on that medium, that they can say, well, that's somebody, they got a problem. That's not me. That's just not me.
It has to be so hard as a child and as a young person these days with all of the way the medium now allows anyone and anybody to say anything to anybody, you know? I mean, I know I experienced it with my older son. He had been bullied when we had lived in Europe for a lot of years, and when he came back to go to school we put him in a Catholic school, and he was just so bullied because every one of these kids all grew up together, and then here comes the outsider, and and he was a little on the chunky side at that time, and it was so difficult for him. And at that time the only sport he knew was soccer, because that's what he played in Germany, but they really didn't have a soccer team or anything. He'd never played baseball. But anyway, long story short, I mean, I remember his father telling him or myself, you just need to know that you're okay, that's their issue, not yours. But that's not what you tell a kid, because they have to face them every single day. You want them to believe in themselves, but the whole point is, they have to really understand and go through that process that you share. So I love that you're taking that to the schools and you're putting it in a classroom setting, helping the teachers as well get educated on that. So phenomenal. And kudos to you for doing that and having that cause and taking it in the direction you are.
Oh, thank you. And if anybody wants to go on the website, you can get a free 10 tips to creating confident kids for free. And it comes with videos. And if you go to confidenceeliminatesbullying.com, confidenceeliminatesbullying.com, and there's 10 tips for creating confident kids on there. And, as I say, with some videos. So that can help parents to know how to do this process with their kids so that they can start to believe in themselves.
I'll definitely get that posted up there as well. Well, we're down to about 2.5 minutes here. So I want to just ask a final question here. One of the big problems, I think, for entrepreneurs, and I know this, I'm kind of speaking for myself, is consistency. So what would you recommend for someone that knows they need to break through, but they're not being consistent in, practicing what you just shared? I mean, and doing it.
Well, it's knowing how you feel in the moment. It's not about forcing. It's knowing how you feel in the moment. What is the feeling that comes up? And you're going to have to go to, and I don't have obviously time to teach this whole thing, but about, right? When you feel not good enough, own it. Say, okay, where am I not good enough in this moment? Like for me, I'm not good enough on Facebook. Well, what can I do about that to feel confident? Well, I could call Cheri up and I could talk to her. And so that's what I've done. Where am I inadequate? Where do I feel insecure? I feel insecure. I can't call this guy. I mean, oh my God, well, where are you insecure? Well, I don't really know who he is. Well, gee whiz, where are you secure? Well, where I'm secure is I can go out on the internet, I can do research, I can go to LinkedIn, I could go to Facebook, I could go to their website, and I could learn more about the CEO before I call him. And then I would feel confident. Oh, now I know what I'm talking about. Now I feel more confident. Now I can pick up the phone.
Awesome.
So it's really doing that.
And for those that really want to understand this in more detail, definitely take advantage of Marty's offer. It's a complimentary 45-minute amazing profit breakthrough discovery session. Go to conversationwithmarty.com. I did just post that on our Social Radio Show Facebook page, and I'll get all this information out there as well, all over everywhere, and include it with the podcast, and we post that as well. But we are down now to the last 30 seconds. So, Marty, thank you so much for joining us today. I learn more, again, as I always do when I hear you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. It was such a privilege to be here, and so appreciated this opportunity. Thank you for your generosity.
Well, we thank you for being here, and I thank you so much personally for what you have helped me do. And yes, I've been denying myself going out to the airport and getting in the airplane, and I will be doing that this weekend.
I told him go pet some tail. I told him go pet some tail, Richard. I give you permission.
That's right.
So everyone, have an awesome and fun Memorial Weekend, and make sure you make it a great social week. And we'll see you next week. Bye bye.